Welcome back, everybody. Well, the time's come. I'm gonna go ahead and start removing this fuel tank. But I do want to get started and say, I read all the comments from folks that did provide comments. Thank you very much. I learned a whole lot. Starting with Mopars are everything. Yeah, that what you said, that there's a lot in that. Thank you, bud. That's I read that, and no, I took that, everything you said in that, 100%, especially on the grounds. You know, we've done a lot of, we do like just regular classic muscle cars, and with all of them, we see it's, when you have a lot of these electrical issues, you're right, it's 9 times out of 10, it's usually the ground. Those Corvettes, those C2s, C3s, they got major ground issues, and we'd always get one of those in, and it was always something going on with the grounds. But yeah, thanks, man. You're talking about the kits being kind of cheesy, so I'll definitely take that into mind. Thank you. Mopar Nut, again, thank you very much, sir. You kind of said the same thing that Mopars Everything did about using welding wire. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. You know, we're going to be putting air conditioning on this thing, so this has got to get resolved. But at least I'm pretty sure I know what I did, this stupid way that I wired it, not using near enough size wire from the alternator. So, and then 70 Mopar guy, I found that chart you're talking about. That chart makes it clear. Why I never looked at that, I don't know. Well, obviously because I don't know shit about Shinola when it comes to electrical systems. So sorry for my French, but yeah. So we're about to get started. Fuel pump has been showing in transit and on time for the last 3 days, and thanks to our post office system, I'm sure it's not going to be here today. It says it's going to be here today, but when it shows in transit still in Nashville for the last 3 days, I'm at a 50-50 moment that I'm actually even going to get it. You know, it may end up in California somewhere. So I'll probably have to call Holly next week and then follow up, see where it's at. But I think it's lost in the U.S. government system, is most times what happens with things that get shipped to me via the post office. So here we go. About to start removing this fuel pump. Something else we're going to do, we just did, when I talked to Joe, my buddy Joe Williams at Just Mopar Joe, he said to make sure that you don't have any water in the gas, because he's had this happen, and I've actually had it happen before too. And we just took this out of the filter, coming on the other side of the filter where it goes directly to the sniper, and usually if we had water in there, it would have separated. So it was a good idea, Joe. So I think we can eliminate this as well, because, you know, one of the things that we did, we filled this car up completely full of gas, and, you know, not to say that couldn't have been part of it, but so far I don't see any separation from the fuel, and it really looks rather clean. The filter is, maybe a year and a half, 2 years old. So yeah, like I said, everything up on the other side of the sniper coming out, it was all good. So I think we're okay. Just thought I'd share really quick. This tank was plumb full. I mean, it was filled to the brim, and we got 5 gallons out of it, no problem. I'm using my power probe to power the pump. Out on the second round with the tank, you can hear the pump starting to, it is not anywhere near empty, but you'll start hearing it. It's going to start making like a cavitation sound, like it's getting towards the end. There's no fuel, but there's plenty of fuel. Here you go. Hear that? That's probably where my bucking was coming from. It's definitely, as I do this, the longer I keep it on, the worse it gets. You hear it? See, it didn't kick back? Yeah. Oh. All right, we got our fuel tank out. Mopar Nut, I know you said these things are easy. And you're right, the A-bodies are all pretty much the same, but I don't remember the Dart being a pain in the ass like this. We're gonna have to do this. The Barracuda has the same setup, but I don't know what it is on the Chargers. These things are a bitch with the transfer tube. I always grease these things up when I go to put them in with the Earl's lube. You guys have any better ideas? I'm completely open, but these transfer tube, the gas filler tubes on these Chargers make it a pain in the ass, in my opinion. You know, I'm sure other guys got it down with no problem, but yeah, I hate doing Charger gas tanks. So I digress. We got her out, and now it's going to be a good time. I can adjust my fuel gauge. Sending unit needs adjustment. So it's going to be a great time to take this out as well. We're about to go ahead and remove this fuel pump. Part of my gasket's in there, so I tore that. Gotta get that out. Let me get my light. Let's look in here. Those little dark pieces where I scraped the sleeve on the pump, so I'll get something to soak that up. Otherwise, the tank is new and it's pretty clean, actually. Well, that's a wrap. So for today, so we got our fuel tank out. Checked our fuel filter, all that was good. Drained the tank, got our fuel pump and sending unit out. I've made the adjustment on the sending unit for the fuel tank. What I did is I extended it out. I think I made it too short, but I had plenty left over. So again, this was the very first one I ever did. And this is my first Sniper. All my customer cars, they went much smoother because I had a lot more experience, but waiting on the fuel pump. So it's been showing in transit from Nashville, I'm assuming to Tulsa. I didn't know that it took 2 days to get from Nashville to Tulsa, but evidently by the post office it does. So yeah, I'm gonna probably guess that that fuel pump is in a corner, sitting somewhere, kind of like how when they ran over all my trunk trim for the Barracuda with a forklift. So yeah, I get to call Holly on that. So I'll be waiting on all that BS. I have made weather pack fittings for the sitting unit and coming from the Sniper. Mopar nut, you know what? I think you're right. The reason why this thing was so hard or a pain in the butt is because I wasn't using common sense and trying to basically, they say don't work harder, work smarter. I'm gonna make some unions and some nice lines coming off the sitting unit, just like I did with the wires and the weather pack for everything I'm going to continue to do. I was trying to hold all that mess up while pushing that stupid transfer tube in. So bring that transfer tube in and shove this thing up there, not shove it, but get it installed with the fittings and the J-hooks, and the hoses and the wires and everything will all be ready to plug in and mount nice and neatly up top. So that's it, folks. That's where we're at. I'll keep everybody updated. That pump, here's what the pump looks like. If you want to come over here and check it out. This is the 255 Walbro. It looks smaller than the one I took off the Buick. I think the Buick we have at 340, which is what I've ordered for this. So that's where we're at. And I'll make these lines. I'm going to make some nice lines coming off of this, so that we can, you know, not make this harder than it needs to be. So hope everybody has a great weekend. We're going to probably clean up and enjoy the rest of the day. So have a good one, everybody.